from a slightly cloudier La Palma today.
Yeah, the weather's a bit different. It's just mixing it up for us, isn't it?
You can see if I spin round that way, we're kind of just under the cloud base, I think, which is about 2,200 foot. But yeah, we kind of knew this was coming. The forecast said it was going to be a bit, it said rain, and it's not really rain, it's just like being in the clouds, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is a lower walk. We're only at about 2,002,
yeah. But we're starting here in this lovely place. This is the Volcan de San Andres, I think I'm pronouncing that right. San Andres-Volcano, which is the crater behind us. Quite impressive, although quite a small volcano in the great scheme of things on La Palma. And we've got a little short walk to start with up to the summit overlooking the crater. And then we're going to start to make our way down to the very, very southern tip of La Palma, a little place called Fuencaliente. Oh, we're stopping at Volcan Teneguia on the way.
Yeah.
Not quite sure where that is, over there somewhere, I think. And hoping to, kind of get underneath the clouds and possibly have a swim when we get down to Fuencaliente, but all depends on the weather.
Hoping the weather improves.
Yeah.
Hey ho, if it doesn't.
Yeah,
Still
it is.
beautiful.
It is. It's stunning still, and it's not particularly cold, so
no.
We'll be all right. But yeah, we're going to get a little march on and get ourselves up there and into the cloud. This is our viewpoint. Not a bad view at all. And I think you can see, well, you can see down into the crater there. And over my shoulder, the pointy one sticking up is Volcan Teneguia, which is a point we're going to stop at on the way, I think, if the route goes to plan.
Under the cloud as well.
Yeah.
So.
And just down in the distance you can see the kind of white bits and bobs. They're the salt pans down at Fuencaliente where they actually make salt. So they have big areas where they let the seawater in and let the sun evaporate the seawater, and they're left with a big pan of salt, and that's how you make your sea salt. And I think we're going to buy some, aren't we?
The salt's really good for cooking, yeah.
And somewhere down there is the lighthouse, which is our meeting point.
You can actually see it.
Can you?
Yeah, just about.
Try a little zoom. I don't know if we can make out the lighthouse, but yeah, somewhere down there. But yeah, nice little, this was just a bit of a detour before we actually started the walk.
It's worth noting you do have to pay to come up here.
Yeah, it was
just €5 each, and there's a little visitors centre which we'll have a look at, but it's worth doing.
Nice, yeah, nice viewpoint. So all the areas covered in white that you can see are banana plantations, and the green areas down there in front of us are grapes. It's famous for the Malvasia grape for winemaking just here. And we've just spotted right off in the distance, I'll try and zoom in on it. You can just make out right in the middle of the picture some fresh black lava. Now, if you'd seen on the news not too long back, they had quite a devastating volcanic eruption here, and lava flow flow out to the coast, and that right in the middle of the picture is it. I think from what my brother was telling me, he was here not long back on a mountain biking holiday, that the volcano is still actually smoking, but that's the first evidence we've seen of it there. Into the visitor centre, we even have t-shirts to commemorate the eruption. I suppose if you can make some money out of it, why not? A nice little visitor centre there, some very interesting information. That's a chunk of rock from the 1677 eruption, but we're now going to head off and hit the trail proper, down to Volcan Teneguia and then on down to Fuencaliente. Well, we've left San Andres back up behind us. A nice little visitor centre up there as well. It's good to have a look around there. And this path is starting to descend through. There's a few pine trees around, but we're starting to head down into the grape fields. And I think round this corner, whoa, we'll get our first glimpse of Teneguia close up. Although this path is very steep and a little bit on the sketchy side. Some nice views down there, and we'll be heading round that corner soon. Well, our steep zigzaggy path has dropped us onto this, which is quite nice.
Dropped a bit of height there as well, so
lost about 1,000 foot very quickly.
The weather's a bit better down here.
Yeah, it's nicer, isn't it? And this is kind of contouring the side of the volcano and taking us round towards Teneguia, Volcan Teneguia. We're not really sure of the paths that are going to take us up it, but we're going to keep an eye out for them. But yeah, beautiful views down to the coast. And all the grape fields, the Malvasia grape fields.
All that lovely wine.
All wine to be. So I've just spotted as well, you can see right above Shell's Head now on the skyline is the island of La Gomera. You can just make out the outline of it there. That's another one of the Canary Islands, which is really quite close to La Palma. And quite a good view of it today. Sometimes it's obscured by clouds, looking quite fetching on the skyline there. And maybe even if we round the corner we might get more views of Tenerife. We'll keep our eyes open for that.
There's to be some nice walking on Gomera.
Yeah, we've heard Gomera, La Gomera is a popular spot for walkers as well. Might be something worth checking out in the future. So we've just rounded this corner and got a rather nice view of Volcan Teneguia, which is that there. And our path is cutting off to the right now and taking us down behind all of this stuff. Some crazy scenery. These rock formations are just like something off another planet. Different coloured lichens growing on them and all sorts. Yeah, we are heading off over that way, I think. Let's go. like you're walking in a bit of a Martian landscape, don't you?
Yeah, very different.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And we've got, that's Volcan San Andres up behind us there, that's where we started. Quite a dramatic peak to that. Oh, and it started raining proper. Well, this is as proper as it'll get, hopefully. You can see the cloud line over there in the distance. It's been up and down all morning, but it's not going to bother us too much. It's not cold really, is it? A little bit of wind and a bit of drizzle, nothing we're not already used to. Hit our path to start the true ascent of Teneguia. And we've got still San Andres up behind us there, but the landscape's just getting better and better. Have a look at this on the right here. This is the fairly fresh volcanic rock. Now, Teneguia erupted last in 1971, is that right?
1971, yeah.
So not that long ago.
Yeah, and it was the youngest part of the island, obviously before the 2021 eruptions.
So yeah, that's a relatively young mountain, that. But yeah, these landscapes are just amazing, man. I just love the shapes and the patterns and the colours in the lava. Sucks. And then we thought there was possibly another way up round this way, and up here, and there's another sign there, so a bit gutted about that. But then we reckon it's possibly to do with the path maybe being a bit unstable, and this wind today is insane. So
if it is unstable, I'm not.
Sorry, just falling over.
On the unstable path. Yeah, if it is unstable, I'm not happy in this wind.
No, it's going to be a bit sketchy up there because all these rocks, you know, this is loose stuff. Like, whoa. Oh, what a shame. This far, this is the crater behind Volcan Teneguia. Very big and very deep. But yeah, we can't go any further than this, unfortunately. Never mind. San Andres, where we were this morning, up there, completely capped in cloud. So I'm glad we got views from up there when we did. Teneguia just wasn't to be, was it? Well, we've just stopped and had a bite to eat, haven't we? A bit of lunch.
Yeah, it's nice.
Looking up at the top of Teneguia. As I say, a bit gutted we couldn't make it up there, but
Just wasn't to be. We'll go in
no.
all the time.
But even if I think if we'd have got up there, if we'd have been able, if the path was open, the wind would have been absolutely insane. I mean, it must have been 50 miles an hour at least down on that little col down there.
Yeah.
So the top of that, it would have been crazy, wouldn't it? But anyway, we're pressing on. Quite a good path now, and heading towards the coast. Gradually losing height, losing altitude. I think we're still at about 1,200 feet. But heading on down to Fuencaliente, hoping it's warm enough for a dip, because it is a bit chillier today, especially with that wind around. And possibly, I think there's a bar there as well, isn't there?
There is.
Possibly a wee beer. We shall see. But yeah, still just loving this landscape. Look at all this stuff to the right here. So we've just been discussing that, yeah, all of this stuff to our right here is all basically the lava that would have been spat out the top of Volcan Teneguia in 1971. So back in 71, that would have been liquid and smouldering hot. All of this would have been flowing and moving. It's quite hard to believe. But having seen some of those pictures in the visitors centre of the recent lava flows, it kind of it makes it all seem pretty real. I mean, you look around at all this, and as I say, you know, this is 40-something years old, but still, as solidified lava goes, it's pretty young. But mad landscape. So as you can see from this walk, the landscape and the terrain on the southern end of the island is really quite different. Really sort of lunar landscape, really barren compared to the rest of the island. I mean, we've been some of the earlier walks on the high altitude stuff. Obviously there's not a lot of vegetation, but then the pine forests are really, really green and lush. And then we're actually not that far away here, but yeah, hardly anything in the way of vegetation. But yeah, quite a different feel. It's really, really varied over quite a short distance, the terrain on La Palma. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? For such a small island. So we're a fair bit further on down now. A little bit more vegetation down here, as you can see, little blobs of green here and there. And right down there, if you can see that lighthouse in the middle of the picture, and the rocks just beyond it, that is the most southerly point of La Palma. That is Faro de Fuencaliente. Well, that wind is still blowing strong. And we've got a good view here as well of the salt pans, if I can zoom in on them. So those big sort of flat whitish areas behind the lighthouse, they're basically just filled with seawater, and they let the sun and the wind do the rest. And once it's all evaporated, you end up with a huge salt pan full of Teneguia-Salt, which is rather nice. I'm pretty sure they sell some down here, so we should be buying some, I think.
Well, I mean, it's definitely gone warmer.
It has, it's warmer. It's still very windy though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks pretty choppy down there. not so sure about getting in there.
We made it all the way down to the sea though.
Yeah, all the way down to the coast, but that is looking
it's rather choppy.
a bit on the sketchy and rocky side, to be honest. Plus as well, it's not exactly particularly warm today. It's still a bit chilly, isn't it? So sadly, I think we're going to give that a miss and possibly see if we can go and find somewhere for a beer.
Plan B.
Plan B, plan B indeed. Plan beer. Well, you can't even see where we started now.
The weather has well and truly rolled in over there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it? Pretty cloudy.
Yeah. But I've still enjoyed it. It's still been a good day.
It's been a lovely day, and we've sat in the visitor centre bar and sank a couple of beers.
Yeah. Why not?
Which has been a nice finish. But yeah, it has been a nice walk. Nice to see a different area of the islands, the south end. Wow, what's going on? Just at the wrong time.
Yeah, very different landscape down this way.
Yeah.
It's very volcanic, isn't it?
But nice to see the contrast between this and the north and the west, where we've been doing a lot of the other walking. But yeah, we have pick-up booked for about 10 minutes time. Hopefully Juan Carlos is meeting us up in the car park there and whisking us back to the hotel for showers and another cold beer and another meal out. In typical holiday fashion. So anyway, yeah, if you've got this far, thanks very much for watching.
Yes, thank you.
Much appreciated, and we shall see you on the next one.
Yeah, hopefully a sunny day.
Yeah, it'll be sunny on the next one, for sure. Right, okay, ta-ta for now then.